Hey guys, Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency update. Wanted to get this second video out today because I want to tie in direct connections with Ripple the company and the chief architect of SWIFTNet. I know we've kind of gone over this before, want to tie it in with additional news and things and developments that have occurred recently. So again, be sure to like and subscribe. All links are in the video description. So we know Swift today, roughly 5 trillion per day. Again, with all the inflation, we could argue it's probably going to get closer to 6 trillion per day. They basically do the messaging, the legacy settlement system, not settlement really, because they have a correspondent banking network and they're not funded, but they basically have the dominant market share today between countries. The correspondent banking network has not been updated in 40 years. It's clunky. There's plenty of intermediaries. There's no transparency. It's like sending a package or a payment, crossing your fingers. It hopes, you hope it gets there in 2 to 5 days, and there's roughly, give or take, a 6% error rate. Imagine if you sent an email and 6% of the time it didn't go through. Exactly. Now this is payments. This is, trillions of dollars per day, and roughly, even with this estimate, $1.25 quadrillion a year. We can talk about CLS directly, integrated with Ripple as well via Finastra, which again can launch ODL instantly. Like, people think, this is going to take years and years to develop. Does it take years to develop liquidity? Yes. Does it take years to develop an ecosystem? Yes. Does it take time to develop corridors? Yes. But this has been being built for quite some time, guys. Ripple Labs, we're already 8 years strong. So just want to emphasize this. Again, this is going by 250 business days per year. We can talk about Volante with, at least 2 trillion per day transactions. We can talk about CLS having a good chunk of Swift. We can talk about CGI having a good chunk of Swift as well. We can talk about the Forex market alone. So R3, we got Konstantin Peric. I'm just going to call him Costa because I see his nickname here on LinkedIn. So we're just going to kind of speed through this. So this is a really good thread. I Am Legion, again, Coil blog that you can go read more about this because he went over this in better depth and detail as well. Highly recommend coil.com. I Am Legion. So we have Costa here, and again, Konstantin Peric, Deputy Director of Financial Services for the Poor at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Again, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation directly tied into Interledger, which is Ripple's creation. Obviously, we have groups like Hyperledger building different, suites and product suites on that. We have Moja Loop, which is Swahili. Moja means one loop, hopefully, helping the unbanked in helping all these groups basically connect between networks, whether it's a mobile network, whether it's a physical bank network, etc. All right. So now he's speaking with R3, building the CBDC. All right. And he's also with Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation right now. And then even I Am Legion tying it together. Moja Loop, Bill and Melinda Gates, Interledger Protocol. He is the chief Swift architect. R3, CBDC, ITU. Right here, you can see for yourselves. Again, Costa Peric. All right. Previously, I was the co-founder and leader of Tribe, the Swift initiative to enable collaborative innovation in the financial industry. At Swift, I was also the chief architect of SWIFTNet, the backbone worldwide secure network currently connecting 8,000 banks and 1,000 corporations and servicing daily the world economy. Keep in mind this number may be a little larger now. 8,000, that's like 9,000. Maybe we're closer to 11,000. We also know that the majority of banks are actually already, migrating towards and utilizing Swift GPI today. But that is not solving the settlements issue. No threat to XRP whatsoever. Swift GPI is just X current. All right. So we'll keep going here. So we'll go down. Just wanted to point that out. So right here, Moja Loop is an open source for creating interoperable payment platforms. The main components of the Moja Loop system are the central ledger for handling payments. Again, ILP, Interledger Protocol. They're being realistic in terms of just like how the internet was developed. They go, there's not going to be a single ledger to do everything. Maybe there will be a ledger for, wholesale payments, one for retail payments, maybe this and that. But there's not going to be, the group in the world, in the country, is not going to pick one ledger. So what do? Let's just build a protocol to allow all of these ledgers to interoperate and communicate. Seems, pretty reasonable to me. All right. So you can check this out again. Talking about DFC, anytime you see that, typically they're referring to a digital fiat currency. Okay. This has been in development for quite some time, talking about all of that. I think you guys know the benefits of DLT if you've been watching this channel. Again, you can just look further into this as well, Philippines, etc. Okay, and identity as well. So I want to tie it into something really cool that Matthew LINY shared with Red Cross, M-Pesa. Okay, we talked about them as well. Moja Loop, and Interledger, and obviously XRP. Ripple created Interledger is the protocol. We have the XRP ledger as the ledger, and the native digital asset is XRP. It is in their best interest for XRP to be wildly successful and used. But again, they're building infrastructure. Think of them as the plumbers. They're not going to turn on the faucet, run the XRP, turn up the volume, and send higher value transactions until everything is set to go. No reason to even, basically boost that price until they're ready to go. Speculatively, yes, per other fractals and what the markets are doing, I think a bull run is bubbling up. I think it has been bubbling up, and people are only going to consider it a bull run when and if Bitcoin finally skyrockets. But right now there are many altcoins that are moving, and I'm capitalizing off this massively. So, implementation of the new global platform for blockchain-based community currencies to boost cash transfer aid, in depth with the Red Cross and its partners. So again, just kind of speed through this. We see M-Pesa's there, Safaricom, we've talked about them before many times. Feel free to check this out, all shared by Matthew, All right, Kenya, remember, throughout Africa, banking the unbanked, we got Norway. Okay, implementation of the new global platform for blockchain-based communities currencies to boost cash transfer aid. Again, there's been, basically this whole pandemic, some people think it had a negative impact on, going cashless and, DLT and adoption of technology. I think it's sped it up and has kind of been a catalyst. And I know a lot of bad has happened, but I still do believe that it is, expedited this process. So now what's interesting, and we have it here on fortune.com, and again, I can just kind of read it for you as well. Google and Gates Foundation to help spread digital payments in developing countries. What I wanted to emphasize, and this is our buddy, Costa Perec, again. So he actually screenshotted it. So right here, systems like M-Pesa are silos, says Costa Perec, Deputy Director of Financial Services for the Poor for Gates Foundation. That talking point is the same thing that Ripple's been saying for quite some time. Now, has Costa been, using these types of, talking points way before that? Perhaps. It seems like he's been around, knows absolutely what he's doing for quite some time. I'm just saying it's the same issue that they're aiming to solve, and that's why Mojaloop with the protocol, obviously Interledger, we have Microsoft working with them. All of these groups should be no surprise. And obviously Bill and Melinda Gates, Microsoft, you can, obviously see the connection there. You can tie it in with Vodafone, MasterCard. It's never ending, okay? So imagine a mobile phone number or system where you can only talk to people connected to the same provider. It's useful, but only so much. And again, we know the power of network effects. We've talked about not only Moore's law, but Metcalfe's law, essentially Moore's law of connectivity. The people in your network, the ecosystems, how fast it can exponentially grow. So again, we've talked about M-Pesa throughout Africa and Safaricom. Remittance payments, obviously one of the most liquid and most immediate, issues today that I think DLT specifically, obviously the XRP ledger can help mediate, I should say. All right. So again, you guys can check all this out. We can see here again, GitHub, Microsoft owned software repository, GitHub, no surprise connection there as well. You can see all kinds of, coding there as well for the XRP ledger. I'm trying to speed through this. I know many of you already know this. Let me see if I missed anything here. So again, now a coalition of nonprofits and tech companies, including Google and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, want to repeat those outcomes worldwide by making it easier for developing countries to build real-time digital payment systems. So on Wednesday, they announced that, formation of Mojaloop to promote and develop a free, open-source, real-time payments platform intended for nations and central banks. Now, okay, so we know Ripple literally created Interledger, which is directly, utilized by Mojaloop. And let's just see the, caliber of people behind them. So we see Coil, which is created by Ripple, the financial startup. We have Modusbox, which we can tie them as well. Right here, the Mojaloop Foundation's founding sponsors also include the Rockefeller Foundation, the philanthropy and investing group Omidyar Network. I've read it, I don't know how to pronounce it. But again, Rockefeller right there. I think this is relatively significant. I think this has been, being developed for quite some time, but we don't really hear too much about it. So just pay attention to, banking the unbanked throughout India, Africa, again, mobile networks, banks. And if you guys have kind of watched a few videos on this, or even just kind of listened to, Stephen Thomas or someone talk about this in detail, you guys can understand how fragmented these payment networks are in these countries where there's many unbanked populations where they don't even have a bank account, but maybe there's a bank that's miles away from their home, but they have a mobile phone. Therefore, mobile wallets are also, obviously seeing growth as well. All right, so systems are silos, just like he said. That can mean friction and high fees to transact between systems. Sounds, literally the same issue that basically Ripple's talking about today. All right, and they're all connected. So we talked about that on Fortune. And right here, Vodafone targets Africa's unbanked with ambitious plans for M-Pesa. We've kind of shown them before, Vodafone with all those other groups. What was that other group? Voca Link, I think. Was that with HomeSend and eServe and MoneyGram? And it's just unbelievable how deep this rabbit hole goes. All right, now this is something I just found, literally just Googling. I don't even know what I Googled. But we can see illustration by Costa Peric. Again, we know him, former chief architect of SWIFTNet. And what I wanted to share is just write this little paragraph. And sorry if I'm stuttering, guys. I'm literally looking at my other monitor right now because I have some trades going. So, all right, and this font is like super small. So right here, money accounts in Africa, Mowali was built using Mojaloop, building off the Swahili word moja, which means one, created by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation in partnership with fintechs, including Ripple, Douala, no surprise, again, on the PayID Open Payments Coalition with Ripple. Again, that was completely, founded by Ripple as well. Modusbox, we've talked about them. Crosslake Technologies, I've seen a lot of talk about them. And Software Group. Mojaloop uses technologies such as IOP, Interledger Protocol, a solution for settling funds among multiple providers across their individual systems. It claims to be the first model and can eventually help extend interoperability from mobile money providers to any bank, merchant, or government institution. Meaning, interledger, guys, just think between ledgers. So whether it's, government, merchant, bank, mobile wallets, anything, cold wallet, it's just bridging these types of ledgers. All right, not cold wallet, you know what I mean. That customers do business with in any way that specifically meet the needs of the poor, right? Something to pay attention to, right? So all about banking the unbanked. And yeah, there's a lot of businesses that stand to make a lot of money. There's a lot of, market share and a lot of potential customers as well. So simply the future, I think it's a trend that we can agree on. All right. So again, guys, I am Legion, Coil blog, definite read, talk about, Swift's volume on a daily basis. And I'm not saying this is all going over XRP overnight. I'm just saying I think we can see where the trends are going. You can even use, again, Susan Athey and Robbie Mitchnick. And again, he did leave and now he's head of BlackRock. No surprise. I forgot where Susan's at. I think she's just still currently a board of director for Ripple. But again, I mean, these people are reputable. They've done that price valuation, talking about XRP at $6, $30, etc. And they have this little calculator, and you can literally just play with things. If we did, 100 billion per day rather than, all 5 trillion, and then just left all of this the same, instead of 30, I just put 3 as a store value. But I mean, you can literally hit calculate on these types of XRP price calculators, and that's $60 per XRP. I mean, if you did, obviously, Swift's daily volume of 5 trillion, I mean, it just keeps going. It's absolutely unbelievable. And keep in mind, it's based off of, XRP supply. I don't care if you think XRP will be, $1, $10, or, 4 digits. I just don't comprehend how people actually think this is a bad technology, because it's been working with regulators for quite some time. We're seeing the adoption we need. The only thing that is boring is price appreciation. But if you look at the history of it going up 30,000% the past few years, anybody that's complaining about price has only been here for 3 years, period. All right? So, right here, guys, I know this is big news with WireX. So, MasterCard accelerates crypto card partner program, making it easier for consumers to hold and activate cryptocurrencies, a step in the right direction. I think we can all agree, regardless of the sentiment on which cryptos will be best or which ones will survive. I think we can agree that crypto asset adoption is, already here. It's getting basically primed up for the masses on a daily basis. I mean, for example, we have the former chief legal officer, Brian Brooks now is, the office, OCC comptroller. I mean, guys, how much more obvious can it get? One of the guys that is essentially leading the U.S. banking system. We can talk about Nacho. We can talk about the volume, the backbone, how, Ripple and this whole payment stack, they're all plugged in and they have that capability per se at the very bottom. You can talk about the great things that even XLM is working on. You can talk about Quant and Overledger. It's exciting. There's going to be so many winners in the space. I mean, VeChain, ADA. I know there's a lot of fear and FUD with Ethereum. FUD is good. I think it's good for a network. It's, incentivizing them to, hurry up. I'm excited for this future. We don't know exactly what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, or when it's going to happen. I just believe that we are at, relatively the bottom, right? Not financial advice. So right here, XRP Crypto Wolf, I'm just going to speed through a few points as we already know. So again, Crypto Derivatives Exchange, FTX official just added a spot market for XRP USD as well. Again, FTX is the 7th largest crypto exchange in trading daily volume. Interesting. All right. And so we will see. I'm not, using XRP as collateral anytime soon unless we're at a high price. Not going to be messing with that. So just food for thought. All right. And anytime I talk about a new listing or exchange listing, I am not, backing that exchange, just simply sharing the news. Right here, half of institutional focused crypto custody firms are domiciled in the US. All right. No surprise. Obviously, it is the most strict for, custody and things of that nature. So I think a lot of big institutions feel safer or safest if it is, obviously regulated there. But there's more opportunity with the risk before it is. So again, to each their own. If I'm investing on behalf of a hedge fund, rule number 1, don't lose your money. So I completely get it. All right, right here, no surprise. Remember last year or so, we had, Bahamas and all those Caribbean islands working on central bank digital currencies. Well, now we have Bank of Jamaica. Jamaica is inviting central bank digital currency providers to develop and test CBDC solutions in its recently established fintech regulatory sandbox. Basically a sandbox where they can, test and play and trial in a controlled ecosystem, guys. All right, Sandbox provides an environment where financial innovations like CBDCs can be tested. Yep, don't even need to go through it. I was already reading it earlier. And then last but not least, I Am Legion again, just kind of pointing towards the World Wide Web Consortium. This has been here for quite some time, guys. I mean, keep in mind, this is just a group, and it was gifted the Interledger Protocol, founded in '94, and right here also engages in education and outreach, develops software, and serves as an open forum for discussion about the web. Right? Ripple gifted it to them. And again, Crypto Ginger sharing that. All right. I mean, it just goes very, very deep. I honestly don't even know what this is regarding. I would have to look into it, or I'll have to DM Crypto Ginger to help explain this to me because I'm pretty ignorant with this. But again, CERN. All right. Pardon my ignorance there, guys. I can only read so much. But again, future web payments, W3C, we understand. Payment initiation will be frictionless, interoperable. New business models will be viable. New ecosystems will emerge. Speculating what the internet of value is going to be like in even 5 years is like speculating, what the internet would have been like. In the year 2000, when everybody just started shopping on Amazon, but people were afraid to order off Amazon because they said it was coming from China. The toys for their kids for Christmas were coming from China. They're worried about this or that. And we had no idea that things like MySpace or Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or Airbnb or Uber, all thanks to the internet and connectivity, would be built upon it. So we can speculate as much as we want. We can argue on which assets or which pieces of IP protocol to own, such as XRP, which will be basically fuel this network or be that bridge asset. And the coolest thing about XRP, even the XRP ledger and interledger protocol, is they actually have technology to pick the fastest payment route. It goes way beyond, when someone goes to me and they go, oh, this coin or this project is faster than XRP. Or when someone says, this project is better than that. You guys have to understand there's going to be different types of customers in these ecosystems. So for Ripple, for example, they're targeting, obviously banks and financial institutions to have XRP as that bridge asset and provide on-demand liquidity. But then there's Coil and other ecosystems for streaming of payments. There's others for just helping with game developers and artists. And it's all kind of the same narrative with payments initially. All right. Some customers or some clients or some users are going to value scalability. Some will, value speed of transactions, actual, settlement time. Some are going to value the consensus or distribution models or the governance and security. To each their own. There's not going to be a single winner in this space. There's so much value in the world. And just like there's so much data, is there a single business, a single, ISP? Is there a single application that rules everything? No, the application that rules everything is the enabler that allows all of this to interoperate, which is the internet of networks. So I think Interledger could be one of those protocols to succeed. Interledger, again, a network of ledgers interoperating seamlessly. And yes, they still need to utilize, because they're bridging ledgers, so there still has to be ledgers that exist. There still has to be some type of token or medium of exchange that exists. It won't be entirely atomic swaps. They will pick the fastest, settlement or kind of path for that value to send, just like IP packets. Really exciting times, guys. I am sick of hearing myself talk. and I feel like I made this video way longer than I wanted to. Appreciate it as always, guys. Be sure to like and share. And again, shout out and thank you to all my top channel members: B-More1113, Lunar Phoenix, Jamie XRP, Crypto Beginner, Ken Melendez. Saw your blog on Coil the other day. I think it was today. Good stuff. XRP Holder 4, XRP Life, and all others. Appreciate you guys, and have a good rest of your day. Thanks.